This episode of Death Metal Cast is brought to you by Honey, sponsoring once again, as well as something mysterious you'll find out later. Hi, I'm Ben. I play Wiz on Death Battle. And to my left is Tony.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hey.
I'm a technical director here and do a bunch of other stuff. I used to be an animator and in a couple of bands. Write comics. Don't sleep a lot, I think is the real key. And also a kaiju fan since I was way little.
Which is why we brought Tony on to help out with Dragonzord vs. Mechagodzilla, which just came out. If you haven't seen it, we're going to be talking about that. So you should probably go see it first.
Super fun.
Because we might spoil something.
I have done nothing but play WoW for the past week, so like.
God damn it, Chad.
I don't know.
Oh, that's because WoW Classic came out.
Chad is back.
Hey, I'm Chad. I play Boomstick. That's Torian.
I animate, and I'm not in a band, which would be real cool.
Just fix that.
Should we
I
just
should fix that.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll turn back time and take maybe the 10 plus years it took you to learn an instrument to get into a band.
You can sing, I'm sure.
Okay.
We can figure it out.
We can
figure it out.
He didn't even like make me feel any better about the instrument learning.
No.
we
It's
could
like,
give, well, we could give you like maracas or something. I can't take
Triangle?
Triangle.
Yo, I would be so ready for 5 minutes on the stage
Hardcore
waiting for my triangle. Like, why is that guy standing there? Is he gonna do something?
on triangle.
And the crowd just explodes. They're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm the best.
That's exactly how it works.
You could be the world's best freestyle
Triangulator.
triangle freestyler. That's got to be a thing. I know that's a thing.
You could be like the saxophone guy of triangles.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Just really
You
getting
should make a YouTube channel that's
I
just
come out
you
like in
playing a triangle.
costume.
Oh, man.
Oh, you do covers of like video game music with just a triangle.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I wonder
be
who
awful.
who has put in the time to be a professional triangle player. Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, in orchestra, though, it's hard. You actually have to, like, you count for, like, forever just to go ding, ding. So, like, it's actually challenging. Yeah.
Because you have to stay
have to
on.
wait, yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep the rhythm. So, and I mean,
sounds so
I would
boring.
imagine if you're a professional triangulator,
Triangulator.
whatever it
That's
is,
like-
you tend to be a professional at other instruments as well.
Yeah. It's percussion, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a percussion kind of thing. So they're probably on drums in their rock and roll band as well.
Sure.
But when they go into the orchestra mode, they have to get their little triangle out.
You like the
weird
greatest.
start,
Anyway.
weird start to this episode.
That's great.
I mean, who isn't in a
totally
band, right?
Yeah.
I used to be. It's been a long time.
What did you play?
Guitar and vocals.
Of course. Of course they did.
Guitar and vocals.
We were the house
do you
band
do?
for a
Jared
local
Leto
club. It was super fun. We played punk when like punk was real dead.
Jared Leto doesn't play.
Bringing it
That
back.
was fun. Yeah, we always got paired up with like screamo bands. So and that's not really my cup of tea. So that wasn't the best. But yeah, no, it was great. We did that for a long time, and we actually recorded an album. My neighbor was a sound engineer, like literally professional, and also
Wait,
the best
what
bassist I've ever heard of.
Wait
in my
Can they
entire life.
still get the album?
I was just like, you have an album?
Uh-huh.
Holy shit!
I don't know if we ever put it online because this is that long ago.
No. Do you got it like at your parents' house? Somebody got a copy? One of your friends?
I have copies.
Why are we just finding out about this?
Yeah, I want to hear that. I've been in the studio for the past few weeks, so I want to hear this album.
The board that we recorded on, Depeche Mode had recorded their latest album and sent it to this dude's house, and then we recorded on that.
That is nice.
Yeah, this dude, his name is Bill, and he's the most ludicrous bassist that I've ever seen in
You
my
have
life.
an album?
Yeah.
Your coolness like risen a little bit. Like it was like here, now it's like here.
Oh, great, thanks.
It's like, you have an album? That's so cool. Let me hear his album.
I'll
I can put it in my Spotify.
He's gonna make.
Can you? No, you can't do
Make
it.
a lot of fun of it.
I have a CD player in my car, I guess.
Would you be willing to drop the name of it so people can try to find it?
No.
Bet you it has to be online somewhere. It has to be online.
I got to hear this. I'm a punk
I'm pretty
fan,
sure
so
your
I gotta
mom
hear
was
We'll
like,
figure it out. We'll
"The
figure it out."
masses need to hear my
This is
song."
like in high school.
What does it sound
just
like?
Getting out of high school.
What is it like? What can I? Yes, but are you Puddle of Mud punk or are you?
Oh Jesus. Nope, we're not going down that.
Okay, then. All right. See, are you Puddle of Mud? Are you
That's
early
not
30
punk.
Seconds of Mars?
not-
Are you maybe a Flyleaf? Actually, that's Christian rock.
None of those are punk. I'm just.
Yeah, I know.
I switched. You see that? I caught myself. Wait, Polo Motor.
All right, well, we will grill Chad to get this this album and share it with you guys at some point. It's gonna happen.
Also the Gold Masters.
Oh my God!
Oh.
You just keep digging that
have your
hole,
own
man. We gotta
masters?
get it now.
Yeah.
All right.
I have one on tape.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
When we recorded 2-inch tape, for my wife and I's band. So.
That's cool.
It's amazing. What's your band name?
Deserts of Mars is my band I play bass and vocals in, and I have a band with my wife called Rise from Fire. We don't have a guitarist in that one. It's
really?
I play guitar bass, and my wife plays bass and does vocals. So
Okay.
But Deserts of Mars is the one we're finishing up an EP right now. So
Cool.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
yeah,
Deserts of Mars.
Anyway, so that's why
That's pretty cool.
we made the kaiju fight.
Yes. Well, I mean, speaking of music, Aaron and their Werewolf, There you go. Did an amazing job with the music.
so good.
Chris did an amazing job with the audio, and of course, our rather large animation team for this one put together something fantastic under, of course, Torian and Tony's direction.
Hey, what?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Christina.
Yeah,
And
as well.
Christina
I'm
co-directed.
directed.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
knocked it out
Yeah.
the park.
I wasn't part of any of this.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
I
you're
was.
sitting here, so my
No,
brain
it
was
was
like,
great.
"Oh, these guys directed it."
No,
But yeah,
it's
that's
cool.
right. Christina
like,
directed
Tony's
the animation.
and Christina's vision is awesome, and it's really fun to kind of like sit back sometimes and be like, see if it's a lot of fun to bring someone else's vision. Like, yo, this is your vision. I got you. I'm gonna make this look cool based on like what you want, and it's awesome. So,
Well, okay.
I've been preparing for this since I was like 4 or 5, I think. so yeah,
in
it's taken a while.
2019,
Exactly.
Well,
direct.
let's dive a little bit into the behind the scenes and like why we did this episode.
Because Ben's wanted to do it for like 10 years.
Yes, I've wanted to do this ever since Torian came on board and made Godzilla versus Gamera. He turned in that fight. That was before you even moved down to work with us in house.
Yeah.
Yep.
You turned that fight into me and was like, "Here's what I've got." And I was watching through it, and one of the first things the first thing I thought was, "This is fucking amazing."
Oh,
and
thank
then
you.
the second thing I thought was, now it's time to start thinking about Godzilla or Mechagodzilla versus Dragonzord, because this is one that I've wanted to do since the
Forever.
beginning, like since before the beginning. This is my favorite kaiju versus my favorite Power Ranger and his favorite Zord, or my favorite Zord. Like, top tier for me all over the place.
Those are always bittersweet matchups, though, because then you're like, yeah, I love both these. Oh, one has to die.
I know,
Like-
especially
Absolutely.
since we'll go ahead and do a little bit of spoilers if you haven't seen it. Spoilers for the victor. Unfortunately, Power Rangers is on a losing streak,
Yeah.
which
Wait,
That's a tough one.
when was the last time they lost?
every single time they've been in a battle. Like they're 3-0 or 0-3. It's bad. Which of course there are people out there who think that we're doing this specifically because we hate Power Rangers.
Oh,
or
the
something like
Tiger
that.
Zord.
Fuck that.
Tiger Zord, Megazord,
Dude.
and now Dragonzord.
was
Oh,
all
damn,
lost.
the Megazord. I
Yeah.
totally
You
forgot.
animated that.
Sorry.
That was awesome.
Ben, I've animated so much stuff over the years so quickly, okay?
That was like one of our most expensive and longest running projects
That
ever.
one was very expensive.
I don't know how you would forget that
Yeah.
one.
Do you remember the original models?
Don't even let's and then I end up doing them.
Yeah.
Like it was so
We actually used the
Fucking
old Zord
stupid.
models.
Oh, nice.
For like the
Oh, yeah.
Triceratops,
Yeah.
Sabertooth, and Mastodon in this from that one.
Yeah, that
So it might look a
transformation
little different
sequence
from the Dragonzord
is
because of that.
That was Reed, who
really good.
works here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
modeled
was our
that thing.
intern at the time.
No way.
Yeah, and then
modeled
she's,
that.
we were
Awesome.
and Reed's great, and we were trying to we got these models that were just like fucking trash, and then we were
I've
just
been
like,
there.
oh god, what are we gonna do? And so I had the original like early 90s probably
Megazord
like
toy.
Megazord toy. So I brought that in so that Reed could like take it apart and like check it out and like and model it. And then she made the Megazord for us.
That is cool.
Super
Yep.
sick.
And then we got moved down here, and then she ended up working. It was this whole crazy thing.
Like around the same time we moved down here, she got hired on to work for Rooster Teeth as well.
Yep.
It was like that works out great.
it was great.
Yeah,
And
she's
then-
awesome.
Yep. And she's also a ludicrously talented pencil artist, and she just doesn't tell people that. I remember
I
Yeah.
had no idea. I've
It's
been working with her
weird.
for a long time.
Oh my god.
Have you not seen her shit?
No.
Dude, she has like over 200,000 followers on
I
Instagram.
think it's like a
or some shit like
Yeah.
that. It's
she doesn't plug the Instagram
it blew my.
Man,
It was
you
like
doesn't
gotta go.
plug
It
it
was like
at
the
all.
second to last day of her internship, and then somehow it came up, and we're just like, She's like, oh yeah, no, I do some drawings.
I think it was after
and then we
she
look at it,
left.
and they're all these like crazy rainbow inspired, like I can't. It's this really cool, unique art style
crazy.
that she does, and they're fucking ludicrous. And I'm just like, how have you never talked about this? She has 2 separate Instagrams, one just for that, and the other one for like normal. So we were all like friends with like the normal one, and then yeah,
She's like, oh, I have this secret Instagram that's way bigger than any of your Instagrams.
it was an interesting day
That's
for all
awesome.
of us.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
it was really cool.
Man,
You keep talking,
She
I'll
never
pull that
said
up.
anything.
So, Tony, if you're lucky, now that you've worked on Death Battle, maybe you also would be hired by Rooster Teeth to do something. You know?
Maybe. I think that's how this ended up, though, because I was like, hey, Sean, man, I've written comics. I've, done writing stuff. You know what? Do you have anything? Like, I love Death Battle. It's like, oh, I have this one. I was like, ooh.
Well, how long have you been with Rooster Teeth?
I think I checked. It's over 4 years, close to
Nice.
5. Yeah, I
Cool.
started working tech director in RVB 13.
Oh, nice.
And then I did effects and tech directing on Ruby 3.
Nice.
And
That's
then-
90,000 followers, but more people should be following. Read F.
Well, she'll have an extra one after this.
Look at that shit.
Read F.
Yep.
Dude,
Should follow.
yeah, she never said anything. This is awesome.
It doesn't. It's not like weird or strange, but it's just like an interesting quirk. She doesn't say anything about it.
This stuff is awesome. Oh, man. I had to ask her, like, why?
Yeah,
why?
we all did it. It was
Yeah,
it's
it was the same reaction.
ludicrous. Anyway, you guys can go look it up.
But anyway,
This episode's off the rails.
oh,
So-
of course, that's how this works, though.
Yeah.
Welcome to Death Battle Cast.
So that's how you got brought on board.
Yes. Okay, so when you were brought on board and we were talking about Dragonzord versus Mechagodzilla, what did you think about the matchup itself and about the Mechagodzilla that we specifically went with?
I really like that Mechagodzilla. Like, that's one of my favorites. I kind of still like old school Potbelly Mechagodzilla because I like the idea that you build this Mechagodzilla, and I guess probably it stores ammo or whatever. But they gave him this kind of dad bod, and he's like one of the toughest ones too. But this one always has a special place in my heart. It looks cool.
Yeah, it does look
It has
cool.
a lot of cool interaction with the pilots, like
Yeah.
Akane, and how that all works, and how she has to work back, and it's just one of my favorite of the series as well.
'cause going
So,
into this,
yeah.
Because I've been thinking about this episode for so long, there have been like stages of my thought process where I've been like, okay, we should probably use the original Showa Mechagodzilla because that's the classic. That's the one people want to see, right? And then, a year would go by and I'd think, maybe we should do Mechagodzilla 2 because it has like the transformation with another ship, kind of like the Zords. And that would work really well with like Dragonzord fighting mode. I think that was after we did Tiger Zord, and we figured out that Rangers could call upon other Zords.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, then actually maybe this Mechagodzilla should work. But then I was looking into it, and I was like, holy shit, that Mechagodzilla is gigantic and also killed Godzilla. I don't know. It might be a little too much. And then it eventually went to Kiryu, where I was thinking, this might be Dragonzord's best chance. Basically.
Plus, it's built off the bones of original Godzilla.
Yeah,
Which
there
is
are-
super cool.
there are a
How
lot
cool
of
is that?
good similarities
that's
as
a lot
well.
of cool stuff.
It's sentient, not quite like the original Mechagodzilla, which
'cause,
was like an alien thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Ghost bones, Ben.
yeah, because
Ghost
of Ghost Bones.
That's
I mean, specifically because they use the DNA of Godzilla, and so the DNA activates. But
Ghost bones.
then they kind of make it spiritual.
What
in
is
the
that?
sequel.
So, like, I'm confused. What does that add to the robot using the bones?
They make it a biocomputer, which is a thing that's really like they're trying to do more with. I looked it up. I was like, I need to look that up again. And they're really trying to make these biocomputers because you can,
It's
the way
supposed to
it's
essentially
cells,
create
whatever.
a semi-sentience that allows, because the idea of this Mechagodzilla is that it is semi-sentient, sort of. It essentially operates on its own, but then Akane in the cockpit gives it specific
Influences it?
directions.
Yeah.
So if you just set it loose, it'll fight, even without the Godzilla red eyes thing.
Like
it'll
Pokemon.
technically fight, but it won't do anything complicated.
like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
I like
sure.
how they're like, well, we make these biocomputers and we're going to do all this AI stuff. And this is what AI will do and it'll help protect us from Godzilla. And like in normal life, we get AI and we're like, man, what if my face was on Leonardo DiCaprio? We could build Mechagodzilla, but I don't know. This deepfake stuff is pretty good.
I don't know. Or we could make a waifu simulator. There it is. That's
See? We can defend against things, but
I think the only thing I don't like about the Mechagodzilla we used is hi Yang.
He's talking about the preview monitor. You guys can't see it. Why would you even do that? Anyway,
It just distracted me.
What you don't like about this Mechagodzilla?
I don't like the jetpack. I think it looks stupid.
the backpack.
Man, but it shoots missiles and stuff.
But
I like the
I didn't say it was stupid.
And that is a great way to argue with Torian.
I didn't say it was stupid. That's great. It looks stupid. Like, it looks like what? It doesn't even look like a jetpack. What is it?
It's not a jetpack.
Oh, I thought
It's a backpack.
It's a backpack.
It's a missile
that also-
pack.
that also shoots. It can shoot itself off.
Yeah, it's not specifically a
It's dumb.
jetpack. It helps it with flight,
You see how
but
you,
it also has flight
see how you
boosters
both
on
like
its own.
explaining it? This is the conversation they had in the room as they were designing it. They were like,
Oh no, it's
they looked at the plans and they were like, "Yo, what is that?" It's a jetpack. And then one guy was like, no, it's a missile pack. Like, we talked about this. He's like, no, we didn't talk about this. He can fly.
Well, I want it to be a jetpack. Well, if missiles fly,
Sure.
so why don't we just make it a missile
He's
pack?
like, where
Also,
can we
it
put
fly?
missiles
Well,
in this
shit.
thing?
yeah,
It's-
like it also has missiles. Just to let you know. Like, oh, well.
Yeah, I mean,
Check.
it's supposed to be kind of like just a weapons armament sort of thing.
Sure.
Kind of like it's sort of a nod to Mechagodzilla 2, which when it merged with or did it became a Megazord with Garuda. It would
its
have a
cannons.
ship attached itself to the back, and then its cannons would fold over its shoulders.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense as a jetpack. Like, what is it holding up? The bar
All of
things
it.
are on the top.
It just holds up all of it.
That is
Also, this is Godzilla.
I know.
Like,
I don't like
doesn't
the
have
way
to
it
make a
looks.
lot of sense.
Like, when he got rid of the jetpack, I was like, oh, this thing looks cool.
Dude, the cannons over the shoulders are awesome.
Nah, I don't know about that.
That was, oh, come on.
I don't know about
That's
that
like
one.
my favorite He-Man toy in the world was that one. I forget his name every single fucking time, but it's the cowboy He-Man character who has guns on the outside of his hands that flip out, a double chest cannon that come out. His kneecaps drop down to be guns, and he has a jet and a
Is that just a
Rio
back-
Blast.
Rio Blast, and his backpack thing comes up into it. So he's just like a fucking arsenal of
That
guns.
sounds cool.
Dude, I was
Yeah,
sold. Like,
he's basically just if War Machine was a He-Man character.
Oh, okay.
yeah, look at him open.
What?
He's got this like. Look at the kneecaps. The kneecaps are gone.
Wasn't
I expect
He-Man
some
in
bootleg
like?
version of this just called America.
Wait a minute.
America.
Why did he have guns? Wasn't He-Man in like the medieval times or
Oh,
something?
they shot lasers.
They had all,
Yeah.
I mean,
Hello, Lord. Welcome to medieval time.
Wait, that's not what I was.
Yeah, you can
this
choose.
medieval time has lasers.
Wait.
All right, so
They're
you're
not. They're
you're
not in like.
sitting in the Orko section.
all right.
They're not in like the technological like era. He-Man. He's wearing like a loincloth.
All right, think about this real quick.
I know
have
it's. I
guns
know
in
it's
it.
fantasy, but it's like barbarian fantasy, right?
But do you not
Yeah.
remember that they're like flying around on these ships and like people are shooting lasers?
I guess.
They do have laser
Yeah.
guns, but they also have swords. It's a
Oh.
weird mix.
I mean,
it makes
that's
no sense.
like medieval era.
Lasers.
Yeah. Forsooth, thou hath lasers. That's how that works, right?
Like, have at thee. What? Phew. Oh!
That's why the knight in shining armor thing happened, because they could deflect lasers with mirrors.
Makes
That's
sense.
it.
That makes sense. Yeah, they weren't wearing steel. They were wearing mirrors.
Perfect.
What lasers
right.
don't work
Shinier
like
the
that in Star
better.
Wars?
Oh, mirror armor.
Pulling it back just a little bit.
Lightbringer Saga. Anyway.
Back to Mechagodzilla Dragonzord. So
He
the
should've
reason
fought Rio Blast.
the reason we ultimately went with
Dragonzord.
Just a giant one. Just a big tall
the
one.
reason why we ultimately went with Kiryu over the other two is because one, I thought Dragonzord might have a little bit better of a chance against Kiryu because Super Mechagodzilla killed Godzilla and was the only thing that could destroy Super Mechagodzilla was the red spiral beam. And then the original Mechagodzilla, Godzilla never stood a chance. Godzilla never beat original Mechagodzilla on his own. He always
He ripped
needed
him up.
he always needed a teammate or a human interference.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, Mechagodzilla dies or loses because for some reason they implant its control mechanism into some girl, and the girl figures it out and kills herself.
Jesus.
It's like super weird.
What?
Because old school Godzilla got super weird. But like and then Mechagodzilla shuts down, and then Godzilla is able to just tear it apart. But if she didn't do that, Godzilla would have been fucked. Like,
Oh, he gets torn up.
Yeah.
in those. I've been watching them on Criterion Channel has them. So yeah, I could be watching a bunch of art movies, but instead I'm just like, ooh, Godzilla's on here. Black and white art films? I don't know.
And Kiryu is sometimes pitched as the most powerful one because the movie right beforehand, Mechagodzilla, I think, Godzilla survives going into a black hole, and he's just fine.
Dude,
But
Does he come out? The other end or
but
something? Like what's
it doesn't
happening?
actually show what happens. He goes into the black hole, and everybody thinks he's dead, and then there's like a shot of the water or whatever, and you hear his roar. Because there's like some line that implies that they think maybe he did actually survive, and then you hear his roar and it cuts to black, and it's like, well, okay, he's fine.
that's the fact I learned from doing death battles. A surprising amount of characters have survived a black hole.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
That's like
They
the
just
strongest
can't.
thing that can happen to you, though, right? Like one of the higher
pretty much.
durability feats.
Pretty much.
Fucking
Unless you're
Bowser.
Godzilla.
Well,
or
half the
number of
time,
other ones.
half the time they say black hole, but it's really just kind of like a portal or a crushing
or a
thing.
vortex, yeah.
It really doesn't operate
What's
like a
more
black hole.
powerful, like a black hole or a supernova?
A black hole.
Yeah.
Like a black hole is gonna crush and distort time, and a black hole does more than just hurt you. It destroys your very existence. It pulls time apart. It
okay.
destroys your body. It stretches you apart. It's crazy. But I mean, I don't even know if you can really compare those two, frankly. But that Godzilla is technically a different timeline. So it's like, I don't know if we can really count it. It would be supporting evidence to this Godzilla's timeline. Which, yeah, I know ages ago we did Godzilla vs. Gamera and we used complete composite Godzilla. Old school Death Battle uses different rules. We don't use composite characters anymore. Starting with like around season 3, I think late season 2, we changed the rules. So that's why it's different. I saw a bunch of people asking about that. Why didn't you just composite all 3 Mechagodzillas? That would have been really weird to try to give the absolute zero canon to Mechagodzilla 2 or something.
Strange.
Yeah. And then Mechagodzilla 2, I did notice that it's super powerful, super large, but it's also like most of its arsenal is built specifically to fight Godzilla, like with its taser cords and the electricity, and its armor is specifically designed to absorb the atomic blast and send it back in that chest beam thing or belly button beam, essentially.
Right.
So pitting that up against anything else seems weird to me. It doesn't really seem like the best fit for a death battle against something other than Godzilla when there are other Mechagodzillas to choose from. And then, of course, Showa Mechagodzilla is crazy. Crazy powerful. Crazy ridiculous. And also not piloted by a human, which Mechagodzilla 3, Kiryu, is. And so there's a bit more of a connection there with the pilot of the human, how the human factors into the analysis. So Kiryu just seemed like the best bet.
No, that's a good one. Yeah. I mean, all that works really well.
I like it. Also, Kiryu is the coolest one.
Could have just said that. Save a lot of time.
At least
just looks cool.
Yeah.
that's my bias for Godzilla coming in. I think Kiryu is the best Mechagodzilla, but I also appreciate the times when the humans can get involved with the kaiju battles themselves.
Like Shaq. I mean, Shaquille. What was it? Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley
exactly.
versus Godzilla. That's my favorite Godzilla story.
Yeah, it's great.
Gotta find the coin. Oh,
One for the ages.
Yeah.
Did the Godzilla have shoes on?
It was.
I've seen
so-
illustrations when he does. Yeah.
It might have. I think
you're
it did.
combining that with a Nike ad. There's
Was that not the same?
There's
Oh,
a,
I was just
no,
asking. I didn't
there's
have-
a
I wasn't going off
comic-
anything.
There's a comic where Charles Barkley gets a coin, which makes him super giant to have him fight.
That's the one
He's
I'm
gonna
talking
fight
about.
Godzilla,
Plays
but instead
basketball with Godzilla.
they play basketball.
Does he have shoes in that one?
I don't believe so, but there is a Nike commercial.
At the end.
Oh, at the very end, he does have
He gives
shoes.
him, like, oh, you lost. Don't worry. Here's some shoes.
Oh, he gives him a pair of shoes.
gives
Right? But
him
then
the
there
Yo, Godzilla got some shoes from Charles Barkley. I mean, there was some Barkley, so they were
is
probably
canon.
whack. But
I'm pretty sure there was a Nike commercial or something like that too, where
Gave him
Godzilla was
some
just like
whack
running
shoes.
and then dunks.
Maybe. I don't remember.
I really,
what? That'd be sick if I
I
seen
really
Godzilla
enjoy
run.
there's a discussion of what's canon for the Charles Barkley Godzilla. It's really like
That's canon.
With its own timeline.
No, yeah.
Is that
just like
canon?
that-
Him fighting Charles Barkley?
Oh, that's right. It's because there was a comic. Oh, that's right. So they had the commercial, and then there was a comic off of. I don't remember which came first.
Oh, so this was to promote some shoes.
It's been a long time, but I
Yeah.
looked.
Yeah,
into
it was a
this.
big
Yeah.
advertisement. It was
Yeah.
playing off of the same idea of.
Yeah, he does have shoes in the
he
comic.
does
I
have
forgot.
shoes. Look, they
Yes, he
designed
does.
him with his little web feet.
They
Little
did.
claws. That's
They are
so
Godzilla
Oh, he's not dunking
specific
it though. He's
shoes.
doing a layup. That's whack.
That is a big ass
Okay.
backboard.
You go play basketball in the Grand fucking Canyon. and see how good.
Where's the rim? Man, they were playing all over the world.
All right,
I kind of
all
like
right.
this idea of like a kaiju Globetrotters.
Can we make this?
I
We
want.
can totally make this, but we need to move on to our next
Yeah.
segment.
Yo,
We've
let
been
me
kind of
see.
dragging.
That should be our next show, like reimagining weird comic stuff in 3D.
Go
There
for
you
it.
go.
That'd be
Perfect.
sick.
There's
I am
all right,
down with
Monty.
this. I have
While
lots
these
of
guys
knowledge
are
of that.
thinking about that, let's go ahead and get to what's going on. Before we get to the kaiju talk, I want to tell you about our first sponsor for this week, Honey. Honey's been sponsoring us for a while, as well as DBX. So they're really great, and they're an amazing browser extension that will add coupon codes and discounts when you want them. You won't need to go searching for codes yourself, as Honey automatically applies the biggest savings to your cart. This thing has saved me quite a bit of money over the years. It's a fantastic, just a little extension that you put in your browser. It works on a bunch of different browsers, and it will automatically find coupon codes when you're set to check out on whatever site you're on, whether it's Amazon, eBay, Newegg, Razer. 20,000 websites use this. It's amazing that they were able to get this many websites to agree to this because, you know, it sounds like it might be too good to be true. You just get free coupons? That's crazy. But there is no real catch here. It's actually pretty simple. When you use a coupon code provided by Honey, they earn a small commission from the merchant, and they pass along some of the savings to their members, the people working on it. So it's a win-win for everybody. You don't actually pay anything to use Honey. All you got to do is just download the extension, get it on your browser. That's it, free of charge, no problem. So, there's really no reason not to use Honey. It's free to use and easy to install on your computer in just 2 clicks. Don't take it from us, take it from our subscribers who have been using it. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/cast. That's joinhoney.com/cast. joinhoney.com/cast. Honey, online savings simplified. It's legitimately really cool. You should go check it out. All right, let's talk about what's going on.
I mean, I feel like we covered it. Just kidding. What's going on? Kaiju talk. All the things.
Well, I kind of
want
wanted to talk a little bit about Tony and why he was the perfect choice to come on board to help with this, because you have some experience with the kaiju history and media and stuff that a lot of us didn't.
Oh, definitely. Like, I remember even back, like, I think my path was set. Like, I was in kindergarten and pre-kindergarten, and I remember instead of watching Scooby-Doo, there was a show called Space Giants, and me and this one other kid were, like, the ones, like, Space Giants! And I loved all the other cartoons, but that was, like, I didn't know it was from Japan. I just knew that this kid had a friend who could also turn into a rocket, and that the rocket kid's parents could also turn into rockets.
What?
It was originally called Ambassador Magma. They made a anime later of Ambassador Magma, but this was like late. I think the original was like late 70s.
Oh wow.
And then every Saturday there was a thing called Monster Theater, and they had Gamera, Godzilla, in amongst like Dracula, Frankenstein, etc.
Why am I blanking on the dude's name? The giant red guy looks humanoid.
Ultraman.
Yep, Ultraman. Thank you.
They had Johnny Sokko's Giant Robot, all this stuff. And if I missed that on a Saturday, it was like the worst weekend ever. And I had no idea where the stuff came from. Even like they even showed this really dark one called Daimajin, which I recommend, although it's way darker. It blew my mind as a kid because it's like an avenging god like statue. So I would watch that, and then eventually, there was VHS where I was like, oh, I can watch Gamera again. I can watch all this stuff.
Nice.
And so I've been keeping up with this, and then have friends who do the comics. Like shout out to Matt Frank, who does the Godzilla comics, and he knows more about kaiju than it's probably forgotten more than I know. Which I thought I was like, oh, I know some stuff. But yeah, so when I was approached, like, hey, what's up with Death Battle? Like, oh, I have this one. I was like, oh, I got you.
Nice.
Like I know. And I was a little bit older for Power Rangers. I wanted to see all the original like Power Rangers stuff. So, but I watched it with my brother, and I had a friend who would send me tapes of things from Japan. So I got to see like the Ninja Rangers, the Kaku Rangers beforehand.
Oh, nice.
Had this little like toy that when you pressed it, it did the soundtrack. And of course, everybody came over, so I eventually took the batteries out because I was so sick of hearing. Like, oh, man, I can't believe you pressed it. Because it would go on for like a crazy amount of time. So I just, all this stuff has been just immersed in it since I was, very, very young.
They should have made a toy of Gamera playing his own theme song on the bones of his enemy. That's my
On Zebra.
favorite.
Yeah.
That is my
plays on
absolute
Zebra.
favorite Gamera.
And I was even in, as far as like the Godzilla dance was always my thing. I even have a Godzilla that's been in my car since like college.
Oh, really?
It's been the same one in every car, like as I get a new car. And have a little Godzilla dance action figure that's the best blind box like ever. Like it was in this blind box toy, like they make this. But
Nice.
So big fan.
huge fan.
Do you,
Maybe just a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you like some of the newer kaiju, like in Pacific Rim?
Oh yeah, that stuff is great. The first time I saw Pacific Rim, it was like looking over, and you can imagine like 8-year-old me, like, let's high five. Do you know we're seeing this?
Yeah.
Did you see we're seeing this?
Did
this
you-
is the thing that's happening? Like when you grow up, you're gonna see this.
No,
What?
it's great. I don't what I don't like though is nowadays like it feels like Pacific Rim was one of those instances where it seems like they lean a little bit more into like these are giant monsters and here are giant monsters and you're watching giant monsters brought
I'm
to you
way
by
there.
giant monsters.
They took the plot of Independence Day pretty much page for fucking page, and then they put giant monsters.
Page for page.
That is
For-
a
I'd say
disservice.
for
to
the
Pacific
end.
Rim.
Page for
Independence Day's
page.
great.
I'm
I don't know about that.
I
It's
completely
the same
disagree.
fucking plot.
I don't
No,
know
get it.
about that. Anyway,
Independence Day all takes place within a week. This takes place over like 40 years or something.
Look at the end. They have the-
Oh, you're specifically talking about
that's
the
what I'm
ending.
saying. The ending is the.
Oh, the plot of a movie is just the last 10 minutes.
we gotta
apparently.
we gotta get in the thing and go to the alien world or whatever, and then it's not because we're gonna blow it up, and it's not gonna work, so we gotta sacrifice ourselves. But then at the last
What a
second,
shallow way to
they
look at a
do
movie.
escape. I enjoyed Pacific
I
Rim.
hate to tell you, but I think that's happened in a lot of movies.
Yeah,
I'm just.
It's happened in a lot of movies. Anyway, but a lot of, I guess, more modern, past the whole kaiju, where it seems like they kind of focus on like the people a little bit more, or
So-
just like the whole situation of a monster instead of the monster itself.
So here's the deal. Whenever people were saying that on the first like new Godzilla movie,
The 2014 one?
Yeah, 2014.
well, I'm not even talking about that one. I'm
Well,
just,
I'm just
like other
in general,
monster movies.
Yeah.
But that
in
is true
general,
for
like
2014.
I started
okay.
getting out. I was freelancing, so I had time to just put stuff on the TV while I was freelancing. Most Godzilla movies, like the old ones, 20 to 30 minutes of Godzilla tops in like a 90 minutes to 2-hour movie. But everybody remembers, like, man, remember that fight? And that's true, especially when it's crazy like Megalon, where it just becomes like monster wrestling,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But in general, like people forget that it's mostly human element for
Sure.
a lot of them.
I guess
There is a difference, and I think this might not like really appeal to people, and that's why people kind of miss it. But the reason why Godzilla 2014 feels more boring, I think, is because they don't necessarily treat the monsters as characters.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
God, I'm blanking on the name of the parasite monsters from that movie.
I don't.
The Muto.
Yeah.
The Muto don't really have characters in,
Right.
in Godzilla 2014. But then you look at something like older Godzilla movies and King of the Monsters, which just came out. Those monsters have characteristics, personalities. Ghidorah is great because every head in that has different personality.
really
and they bicker
good.
with each other. One of them's clearly in charge. And if you're just watching, like as a normal moviegoer who's not expecting that, you're gonna miss that completely. You're not, because they don't highlight it per se. In King of the Monsters, they kind of do. They kind of talk about how like the whole point of the movie is like one of them needs to be the alpha, blah 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 blah, which is not usually discussed in Godzilla movies, but they still have stuff like that where the monsters are the main characters. There's a reason why it's called Godzilla and not Man Fights Godzilla. Godzilla is the main character. And 2014 kind of didn't really do that. It did, especially in the latter half, but
I think
it
the
kind
second
of tried to
one did
balance it.
better.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I was all in.
Yeah.
I like both of them, but in fact, I was
Ferguson
going
one?
back and
King of
rewatching
Monsters, yeah.
a bunch of them for podcasts that I do, and I was surprised at how many Easter eggs I had forgotten that they included in the new one, and was really pleasantly surprised. I know it's kind of divisive movie still amongst Godzilla fans, but
What, the second one?
yeah.
People don't like that one?
Man, nobody likes anything on the internet.
That was so cool. That
was great.
That was so cool. The little moth teamed up. It was like a tag team match.
Yeah.
I didn't think
little moth team.
Mothra? Literally the most iconic kaiju next to Godzilla?
Well, she got washed. All right, so
Well,
she was,
Mothra always gets washed.
Okay,
That's kind of her
well,
thing.
But like, I thought that movie was so cool. I was like excited.
I'm with
You
you,
talking
man.
about like little Kiryu? I was like, oh shit, there's monsters everywhere. They gotta save the monsters. Monsters are busting out. This is fucking dragon thing snapping at itself and then attacking the people. I don't care about all these people. Bring me Godzilla. Godzilla shows up right when I'm like, bring me Godzilla, and I'm like, oh shit, this is
Dude,
cool.
It's
need
my
to go
favorite.
watch
It's
more movies
It's my
before
favorite
you-
iteration of Ghidorah, for sure. Like, I
Oh,
love the
he's
idea
so
that
good.
Ghidorah is a storm, and he's just everywhere he goes. There's just a fucking lightning storm, just for no reason other than that's him. That's so cool.
I kind of like the anime one a little bit better because like the three-headed dragon thing, yes, as iconic as it is, like I've seen it a lot. Like
Sure.
outside of God, so
got you.
the anime Godzilla one that most recently came out, anime is like but that Gordita,
Gordita, yes.
that Gordita,
King Gordita.
that King Gordita. This one comes from like another dimension, and Godzilla couldn't hurt it because of that. And it was like this cool yellow lightning thing that was pretty sick. So it was like lightning, but like from a different dimension, and it was fucking Godzilla up. Cause he couldn't fuck with it because he was coming from a different dimension, and then he killed the priest guy, and then it was in this dimension, and he was like, "Hey, I'm about to fuck you up," and then he like beats it. It's pretty cool. I like that one because it's so different. It's not like just a dragon and has 3 heads. This was like some weird interdimensional dragon
Actually,
shit.
That's one of my favorite things about the current Godzilla like era. I'm blanking on what they're calling this era. It starts with an R. Like they've really embraced this idea of trying new things with Godzilla. There are less films coming out, which is probably for the best, because like the Millennium era, it was just like movie after movie after movie, and they all kind of blend together to a certain extent. But like Shin Godzilla was fascinating, probably the best Godzilla movie of all time, frankly. The anime. You got Godzilla Earth walking around.
It's
Yeah,
like
even-
creating like
even
little
though it
life
wasn't
forms.
Super popular. The fact they were trying something really different, like I was on board.
And the people
'Cause I've
like
seen a
fight
bunch of
Godzilla
stuff
in
like,
that.
Hey, look, it's playing
Yeah, and I
Godzilla.
think
Okay.
the first like 2/3 of that story of the anime series is pretty damn good. It kind of feels weird at the end a bit, but I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it. You should watch it. It's still really cool. It's still definitely worth a watch. And then of course the American Godzilla is trying different things with the monsters, and the fact that they're willing to let us do that, which is neat.
That's rad.
Well, the fact that like I said, I didn't expect the tag team match from American studio. Like that feels like some
It
straight
feels
up
like a
anime
big jump
shit.
from 2014.
And I'm like, whoa, like someone was in the studio like, look, all right, we monsters. We need like 6 monsters and 2. And they need to have a tag team fight. Put the butterfly in there.
Watanabe said, "Let them fight. We need all of them
We
to
need
fight."
all of them to fight. Get some animators, get some visual. We're gonna have this tag team match, and someone was like, "Yes," and that's awesome.
Because everybody wants to destroy all monsters. And when we say, like, I love the super serious ones.
Although the original Destroy All Monsters is
not as
it's
good, like-
hard to watch sometimes.
Also,
I'm
like,
with you, I'm with
also
you.
it disappointed me
But that's
that
kinda what everybody
Rampage was
wants.
bad.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't one of them talk? In that
No,
one?
that's
not in that one.
Monster Island.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Monster
And they
Island.
have, like, there's stupid trivia, but there's, like, several cuts. So one of them, they talk and it's like these record scratch noises almost. And then there's another cut where they do that, plus there's, like, word balloons.
Speech bubbles.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
That's
And-
super
And then there's
cool.
another one where it's just straight up
Yeah,
voices.
and then there's an
sounds
American
so
one where
weird,
he's like,
too.
and they do some weird vocal. He's like, "Hello, I'll have to."
Yeah, that's yeah.
Angerous, we need to go help. Like that's what it sounds like. And he's like, "I got you, buddy." I think he calls him buddy. Like, I'm pretty sure he does.
That one's also like a super fever dream.
Yeah.
Like there's
Well, and it's
so
also the
much
puppets
craziness
in
there.
water. Like Angerous is swimming, and he's like a big like ankylosaurus thing. That dude can't swim. Like so, he's just kind of flailing
It's
through the
got
water.
Giant Godzilla land
Yeah.
that attacks Godzilla. It's like
It's-
a giant Godzilla building.
I like
And the enemies
weird.
are cockroaches.
I like secretly really like monster movies, But lately I've been turned off of them because, like I said, they've been afraid to like showcase the monster. Like in what was it? What was the alien movie? Where they were abducting they were like getting the people. I think was it Tom Cruise? Was Tom Cruise in it?
Are you talking about World of Worlds?
Is it World of Worlds?
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
World of the Wars?
War of the Worlds.
That's the one, the Tom Cruise remake.
From like 10 years ago
Dakota
or something
Fanning
like
when
that?
she was a kid.
That's when the aliens, they were like in these tall stilt things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was germs.
They get killed by bacteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that was dumb. What?
What?
I wanted
H.G. Wells.
I wanted to
Morgan
see
Freeman narrates, and at the end of the day,
I wanted to see more of the walking weird stilt things.
tripods.
Yeah, the tripods. And they like focus on Tom Cruise. Don't give a shit about Tom Cruise.
Well, I mean, it's
I-
primarily a horror film.
Yeah.
So it
I guess.
Dude, that's
less monster helps that sensation.
Man, that scene when he's like down in that basement and that thing's looking for him. Whew.
What else
Yeah,
I was gonna
that
say?
was
Like
cool.
maybe that's not. Maybe I'm.
Well, I
like-
wouldn't say horror films and stuff like Godzilla necessarily correlate.
But it has a big monsters. It has.
It
like-
does, but it's treated differently because of the genre of the film.
I got you.
I loved Cloverfield, and you don't
Yeah.
see much. You don't see much of the monster.
Yeah.
in
But I
Cloverfield.
wanted to see the monster.
Right. No, I understand, but at the same time, like Cloverfield's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie so much.
Do you like the other two?
Yeah. The second one is crazy, man. John Goodman, such a good actor.
Wait, why did I say two? It's only
There are
one.
two. There's the one with John Goodman, which is
Right.
pretty good, and then there's the Netflix
one's
one,
really
which
the
is
Netflix
kind
one,
of.
which was just
all
so
over the place.
fucking
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
I don't
It
even.
seems like a repackaged thing that they slapped Cloverfield
Yeah, it
on
kind
at
of
the
was
end.
in a way.
Oh, that's
yeah.
the when they were in
Yeah.
space. And they did the
Yeah.
weird time.
Yeah,
thing.
they try to
Yeah.
do the origin of the first film. It's really weird.
I literally forgot it. Like I can't tell you anything about the third one, so not the biggest fan.
Yeah, it's not that
was
great.
I mean,
good.
I'm all about creating more movies where there's more monster. Like the Gamera series that they did, the last one, that was awesome.
Gamera trilogy was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Although
I'm
they
with
also
you.
made one after that where he's like a baby for a little bit. He's just like hovering around with
Like
his little legs.
Son of Godzilla.
No, like
Okay.
it shows him grow up. A kid gets him when he's a child,
Right.
and Gamera grows
Right.
up with the kid.
Because he's friend to all children.
But he is, yes, because he's friends to all children.
I just want to see the monsters win.
I'm
Like,
with you. You need to
like-
watch Godzilla versus Megalon. Check it
Okay.
out. I'll loan it to you if
All
you
right.
don't have it.
Cool.
Because that one has, it straight up ends up like a monster wrestling match.
Okay.
Complete with holds.
I'm
Like,
on the
it's
side
like, yeah.
of the villains in any
Yeah.
movie situation.
But you love.
But the monsters aren't the villains.
But like they're
I
monsters.
mean, some of them are, some of them aren't.
and like it's like because in the anime the people fight Godzilla because they're trying to take the planet back.
Right.
And
Well,
so
that's why I like.
I'm on Godzilla's side. I'm like kill these people.
That's why I like the idea.
and he's
man,
like so
nihilism.
heavy, and he's like a big walking tank, and they can't do shit against him.
Dude, this is just more evidence. Like, remember, it's like if you have superpowers, what would you? Torian's is like, I'll kill all of you.
Villain.
Like, what?
Oh, yeah, he's a
like, he
supervillain.
instantly.
Well, I mean,
supervillain.
Poof! And y'all gotta figure out where I'm at because I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you all one by one. I'm coming for you all.
I mean, original Godzilla is a force of nature, and that's how. It wasn't until later that he was,
I think that's
Later,
kinda
as
how
in
it
like the
was.
next movie, they're
I
like,
think
"Oh
that's
shit,
kinda
we
how
got to
it's
turn him into a
presented.
superhero." I guess it was like 2 or 3 movies later.
It's a while, but by the end,
Because the
it's-
second movie is him versus Anguirus, and it's just that's a wrestling match. But it's like they didn't really know what they were doing, so it's
Yeah.
hard to see what's happening.
Though
The
he
suits
keeps
just kind of
getting-
slapping each other.
keeps getting captured by aliens too.
Yeah.
and all, like it's crazy.
Like my favorite thing is that in the anime he's just this unstoppable. No matter what they do, like he was just
That's how it
fucking
should
them
be.
over.
That's how
And-
most Godzilla movies are.
And then they killed one, right? Spoiler alert. They killed one, and they're like, oh shit. And this thing was already huge. It's fucking covering the earth in like no time. And they're like, oh yeah, we did it. And then these motherfuckers was like, oh no, we're getting another reading. And it's another one that's like, he's like, no, I'm the real Godzilla. And it's fucking huge. And they're like, oh shit, no. And I can just see their hopes and dreams fucking dash. And this one race are merging with the Mechagodzilla city. Spoiler alert, Mechagodzilla is a city now, which is
All right.
fucking awesome.
I don't want to
They
get too
still
into
lose.
spoilers. I don't want to get too into spoilers for that because it is pretty recent.
Although
but
I do want Godzilla nesting dolls now. Like, just based on that, you can do the
Manila,
hype, you can be the
Godzilla
hype man
Jr.,
for that.
That's kind of what it
There's
was.
a Godzilla in a Godzilla.
Because I was like bummed
I got a
out.
Godzilla.
I was like,
That's
oh,
just
they
like
beat
a
him. And he was like, no, Tori, I got you.
well, that's kind of why I
funny.
like the idea of Mechagodzilla, because it gives them, the humans, a way to get involved with the story that doesn't seem. I mean, it seems silly because it's a giant robot lizard, but in the context of Godzilla, it seems to work way better than you'd think it would, and it gives the humans some sort of agency in the Godzilla story. Especially that's why I really like, as it's kind of generic as Godzilla X Mechagodzilla is, the Kiryu movie. I do really like the idea of having a human character interacting with a monster in that the way that Akane interacts with Kiryu.
And plus, there's a lot of pathos there because she starts out, messing up, and then, that, their defense of Japan is kind of botched at the beginning as well. So there's a lot there there's a lot to do human wise.
Yeah, it's
Also,
an
I
actual
hope-
interesting human story that, as opposed to anytime it cuts to humans, you're like, come on, get to the monsters. Except for Final Wars. I know that's probably kind of controversial because they just decided to turn the human aspects into the Matrix.
Yeah,
Just
that
like,
one's
the
rough.
entire movie is an action
what
scene.
what
It's
was the
crazy.
Taco Bell Godzilla? I know it's not Taco Bell Godzilla. I only remember this Godzilla
What does that
from
mean?
seeing him from a Taco Bell commercial.
Thinking of.
Is
It's
it-
the one. It's not Godzilla 2000. It's the other one. It's the one. It's Zilla. He's thinking of Zilla.
Oh.
The lizard one? It looks like a
yeah.
lizard.
Yeah,
The one that
He's
eats
thinking
fish?
He eats fish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, what was
Zilla.
that?
That was the first American attempt.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's the one.
It was terrible.
Where they remixed brain stew. So you.
Oh, man.
It was an attempt to capitalize off of Jurassic Park.
Apparently, like
all it was.
they like. I watched a documentary on that movie, which is great. Which I don't understand why I forgot because I literally just watched that. But it was very funny because they said they showed that to Japan or whatever, and then they were all sitting at the boardroom quiet, like, and they were like, "We'll get back to you tomorrow," and then they signed off on it, and I was like, "What? Why?" And it's because they really wanted to make a movie.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, he
"Aw."
gets killed in Final Wars, and they go,
Well-
that's not a Godzilla.
Yeah.
So that Godzilla movie happened while in between the Heisei and Millennium eras of Godzilla. Like there was a good 10, 15, maybe longer gap between. They hadn't made a Godzilla movie in a long time, and they were trying to find a reason to get some funding for it. And so then Emmerich made that movie, and they're like, they probably approved of it because they knew people wouldn't like it and would ask for a new Godzilla film because 2 years later, 1 year later, a new Godzilla film came out in Japan, and then that came out here in Godzilla 2000, and everybody loved it.
one of the things
By the way, I got to
documentary
give a shout out
speculated.
to Christina who loves that movie, even though it's not a favorite of mine.
2000's all right.
Well, no, 98.
Oh
Oh,
God.
the 98 movie.
She loves Zilla, and I
She likes Zilla?
yeah.
But
Why
yeah,
did we
see-
let her animate this?
But yes,
Damn it.
Zilla was the Taco Bell Godzilla. They had
Yeah.
all those Taco Bell ads.
Although I still
Japan
say
calls it out in a couple movies, and then in Final Wars they kill it. It's great.
it's not
Nice.
a great Godzilla movie to me, but I still say if they had just said, "Nah, this is really just a remake of Beast from 20,000 Fathoms," I would have been like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. It's a lizard, awesome."
Sure.
There you
but
go.
it's
more
not.
so-
It's
I can't even remember
It's
the
neither.
characters and
So.
stuff, but it's just frustrating to watch.
Also,
Also, they have a raptor
Power
scene at the
Rangers
end.
is great too.
Oh yeah, maybe we should.
Oh, we'll talk more about Power Rangers, I think, in the next episode of
Yeah.
the cast, because there's plenty
I
to
love
talk
Power
about with Green Ranger and Dragonzord. And also the fact that this coincidentally came out on the same day as Jason David Frank's birthday.
Oh, of course.
I did not realize
no.
that.
Hilarious. Happy
Hey, you
birthday.
lose. Hey, you lost.
Yep.
Sorry. We didn't realize that. I swear to God, that
He
was
looks
a total
cool, though.
coincidence.
Nah,
He does look cool.
He
Dragonzord
is
looks dope.
actually pretty cool. I had a booth next to him at a con one
Yeah.
time, and he seemed, and I'm sitting there, selling comics and stuff, but his line, I just hope like, hey, some of you guys could come over here and like, but his line was there from like the morning, and he seemed super cool.
He seemed like really nice.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
But we should probably move on to
Yep.
our community death battle. Let's do it. All right, before we get to the community death battle, our next sponsor is this bad boy. So, obviously, it's a box, and it comes with something in it, but I'm not supposed to tell you what it is. Instead, I've been asked to have you guys guess, and I've got a few hints for you on what is in this box. So, First off, it's ice cold, like a corpse. It would hurt really bad if you lost a bet and had to shove it up your ass. Their words, not mine. There's a giant golden skull on it. If you bring it to school, it may be confiscated from your backpack. Whew. It came from the mountains. It might help clean up pollution. Some people are afraid of it and think it's for Satan worshippers. A few psychos actually have it tattooed on their body. You could get some for free if you literally sell your soul. And some of you would 100% be grounded if your parents found you with it. And last but not least, it's metal as hell. So, it sounds too good to be true. I'm going to try to open it and show you guys exactly what's going on here. Oh, what's this no say? If you open this, the awesome power inside will melt your face. Okay, instead, I'm going to let you guys figure it out. So, you can find out for yourself by going to whatthefuckisthisshit.com/cast. I'm not joking. It's literally where you're supposed to go. And you'll get you will get 6.66% off if you decide to buy whatever this is. If you go to whatthefuckisthisshit.com/cast. whatthefuckisthisshit.com/cast. Seriously. What the fuck is this shit? All right, let's talk about a community death battle, but I'm gonna have to figure out what the fuck this shit is. So, see you later. Okay, so as usual, as it has been for the past couple weeks, we are combining community death battle with DBX because they both require or involve voting for the victor. We're getting close to the end for the first season of this new revamped DBX. I think we've only got 2 more weeks of it, so get ready for some epic season finale shenanigans. So the episode that is coming up, which will air this upcoming weekend, is Frieza versus Mewtwo, which has been highly requested as a death battle for a long time. I've always been kind of hesitant about it because it seems like the only connection is that they're both white and purple.
I was literally just about to ask you that.
But there's more to the matchup. There is kind of an interesting idea between raw power and psychic power. You know, maybe there's something there. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what you guys think of this matchup. Well,
I got tails.
And what's even more interesting is that over the weekend, the vote was basically 50-50.
What?
Oh.
Nice. Legitimately was 50-50. So you should go vote on that.
Team Frieza.
He's a Dragon Ball character.
Yeah, I know.
It's a Pokemon. Yeah. Did I really have to say anything? I was trying to be cool. Cool, but Chad did it. I was trying to be cool.
Tori. Okay. As always, we let you guys give your opinions on the matchup and see if you can convince anybody who hasn't voted yet.
50-50.
Maybe you can convince Torian.
Try and change Torian's mind.
Wait a minute. And it's 50-50. Where are the Dragon Ball fans? Everything we do Dragon Ball, they show up in droves. Up in droves. How the hell is it 50-50?
Just because they're Dragon Ball fans doesn't
power of
necessarily mean they
Pokemon.
won't vote for. Are like obligated to vote for Frieza.
I mean, but
Everybody's got different opinions. Anyway, speaking of opinions, let's check out Will Stryker's opinion on Frieza. So Will Stryker says, Frieza will win the fight. Frieza in his first form was powerful enough to destroy the planet Vegeta with little effort, survived the destruction of Namek, getting his limbs cut off, and became as powerful as Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta in Gods of Destruction. So some kind of scaling levels there.
I mean, surviving Planet Namek, he was pretty banged up. Like they put him back. They put him back together like Darth Vader.
Do you
like,
think that Mewtwo would survive the Earth exploding?
Well,
I'm just saying.
They put him back together because Goku cut him apart. Actually, technically, he sliced himself apart, and then Goku blasted him when Frieza turned on him because Goku tried to save him,
Sure.
and then the planet blew up. So Frieza went through 3 horrific little moments there.
You lose. Like if they didn't put him back together with his robot parts, he would still be blasted into pieces.
Sure, he probably. I don't know if he'd be able to come back.
Or they can just summon him back from hell like they did in Resurrection F.
I mean, no, but that is fair. Every time Frieza has come back, it has been because of other people helping him.
True.
He's never necessarily come back or survived death because of himself, other than just being tough as balls.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's just hanging out in that tree.
Yeah. But we do have an answer for Mewtwo from Dudeblade X. And Dudeblade says, Mewtwo has mind wipes, mind reading, and numerous healing abilities. Plus, key attacks are basically fighting type moves. Mewtwo has type advantage. Freezes going on ice. That's interesting.
Is a Key Blast a fighting type move?
So technically,
I'd argue that
in Pokemon, Psychic type would have an advantage over Fighting type. I don't know if we could apply it that way.
What's energy? Like, so what? I mean, there's got to be Pokemon that shoot like laser beams and like similar stuff to Kamehamehas and Key Blasts. So what are those Pokemon?
Wait, say that again.
He
What?
wants.
I'm
I
sure
got it.
there's Pokemon that shoot energy blasts
Sure.
like Dragon Ball Z
Okay,
characters.
okay.
So what are those
what's the
Pokemon?
move? What's
this
the move
is
type is what
this
he's
is
wondering.
comparing. Basically, what they're comparing it to is Lucario, and how Lucario has Aura and uses Aura as a weapon. And Lucario is a fighting type. It's a fighting type move, the Aura Blast or Aura Ball or whatever it's called. So I can see that comparison because Lucario is basically Goku.
Yeah,
and he's
he's
literally
like
voiced
Pokemon
by
Goku.
Sean Schemmel. So
Does he really?
yeah,
That's
it's
funny.
Really? I didn't know that.
They
Look
knew
at
what
me
they were
pulling
doing.
out the trivia.
They knew what they were doing.
That's really funny.
So I could see the comparison.
Okay.
And I know in way back in past death battles, we have kind of toyed with this idea of applying Pokemon types to other characters. I'm still not really convinced on whether or not it should be applied. But in this case, I don't know. Like,
I guess.
maybe Key should be counted because it is technically at least similar to the Aura. And if Lucario fires an Aura Sphere at Mewtwo, he'll have resistance to it.
Yeah,
But there's other
but also
Pokemon.
Lucario's not like, oops, I missed and it blew up the fucking earth.
That's
like,
fair.
There's a lot of Lucarios running around.
That's fair. I don't know. Like that's an interesting like that would need some discussion, I think. But I think there is an argument for it.
I think the
Also,
real argument here is just can Mewtwo wipe Freeze's mind like right away? Like
Yeah,
instantly.
he should be able to do that, right?
Because then it's just like, what do you do?
Oh,
Like-
what if Frieza like beats him up too fast?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because he's as fast as Goku Blue.
I feel like this is one of those things where we just have to determine like if they both throw their most powerful thing at each other immediately, like which would
But like
get there
Mewtwo
first.
can just
and win.
teleport away, right? He doesn't have
teleport. He could theoretically telekinetically move
Oh wait,
energy.
he can do the Mega Evolution, and he does like a similar attack in the Pokken game, where he throws a big ball at the Earth. It doesn't destroy the Earth because it's a fighting game, but it was kind of similar. I don't know.
The real question is
I'm
how many of those lasers are in medieval times? That's
Oh.
the real question.
All right, that's a good way to
Call
end it.
that. Great job.
All
So
right.
anyway, go vote.
Yeah,
At
let us
Death
know
Battle
who
on
you
Twitter.
think should win by voting on Twitter. That's at Death Battle on Twitter. The poll is up there for Frieza versus Mewtwo. We are getting close to the end of DBX season 4, whatever we're on. I don't know.
Sure.
New DBX season 1.
DBX, the renewal, the reckoning.
the Revengeance.
We should name each season like that. The Reckoning, the Renewal,
Re-Revengeance.
the Revengeance.
Revengeance.
Yo, if they made a sequel to that game and called it Revengeance, that game was that's game of the year. Just name alone. Like I will go. Who is the guy who hosts the Game Awards?
Jeff Keighley?
I would go to Jeff Keighley personally, and like if you don't make this fucking game,
What?
game
Jeff
of the year?
Keighley?
Yeah, as video game god, he determines what gets game of the year.
He hosts the show.
You just like throw it out. I got one word for you. Re-revengeance.
Platinum Games. Re-Revengeance.
Jeff Keighley, I know you control all games in the universe. You have to make sure this happens.
I got the pitch for you.
All right,
Revengeance again.
please
No, that's
go.
the third one. Re-revengeance again.
All right. I got to call this as an end. We're getting kind of long here. But if you're a first member, please check out our Sudden Death show. We'll probably talk a little bit about WoW Classic and Chad coming back to Civilization or
Probably.
something. We'll figure it out.
Sam will be next week. We'll talk a lot about that.
for
on the
sure.
Episode, but.
But yes, and next week we will do our Dragonzord versus Mechagodzilla Q&A. We kind of hold off a week so that the YouTube audience gets a chance to leave their questions in the comments because we're recording this while it's still technically a first exclusive episode. So we will see you guys next week. Thank you, Tony, for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on board for this.
You
Like I
did
said,
great.
years in the making. So.
Oh, this is fantastic. I really like how the episode came together. I
great.
think everybody did such a
the
good
whole,
job.
The whole team just destroyed. Oh, so good.
In a good way.
Yeah.
All right.
In a kaiju way.
Thank you for watching, guys. Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Bye.